Historically, stocks do better than gold. But will this always be true? Interesting question. Hello, this is ChartGPT today. You know, this question of whether you should be buying gold now, a lot of people out there trying to get you to buy gold, but the more current charts tell you that it's not true that stocks always do better as a better inflation hedge. But is that really true? We have these stock indexes, most of them have just hit brand new highs, and then everybody's complaining about the economy, but yet the stocks are hitting new highs. So it's the tale of two cities here. So the question there is, what we'll find is it typically gold bullion when it goes down when interest rates go up, and of course vice versa. So it's interesting to always look at the interest rates to see where gold prices may be heading. Of course, there's all other factors that built into that, and that's geopolitical situations, and of course that is a very dubious situation right now, as we all know. And of course, looking back historically, and this goes back to 1970, so we're really talking 50 years here. We've never seen a situation where rates have been as high as the amount of debt out there. So all this debt at these high interest rates is going to become a huge problem for banks. It's going to be a huge problem for governments, etc., etc. You know, with interest rates continuing to rise, or will they fall? Will that hurt gold, or will that help gold because of failed economies? Of course, the U.S. there's this government where the ballooning of the interest rates are causing it to have more and more effect on the budgetary effects of the government. So that's going to have to play in, whether we like it or not. Of course, this chart here tells who holds all this debt. Well, the blue or the aqua line there is basically the financials, the banks and other financial institutions. So if they go under, will we bail them out again? Interesting question there. Kind of the perennial pessimism porn, as Harry Dent's come out with a piece here recently saying that we're at a huge bubble everything, and 2024 is going to be the biggest single crash year we'll see in our lifetime, kind of harkening back to the 29s and 32 levels when the big stock market crashed prior to World War II. And of course, the idea of World War III has been in the news all the time here recently. And he suggests that things are not going to come back to normal in a few years, so the crash will happen and it could stay down. So getting back to that question, stocks versus gold, here's an interesting chart when you take the stock market and look at it relative to gold price and not just the debasing currency. So stock prices haven't regained the highs of the COVID-19 prior highs, so it's been going down on a gold price basis, not on a dollar basis. So what you're seeing in the stock market is in fact an inflation hedge because of the currencies. But historically, here it is true that gold prices relative to the current rates of the S&P 500 by far outweigh the stock gold prices, so you'd be better off investing in the S&P index. But is that always true? This chart only goes back 50 years. Kind of an interesting chart from the East India Company back in the 1700s. You have to blow this chart up here. Now remember, this company was kind of like the bedrock of stability of that time, going back to the 1650s all the way to the 1750s, over 100 years, even beyond that. So nobody ever thought the sun would ever set on the East India Company, and there was other companies. It was still to this day the Dutch East India Company was worth the equivalent of $7 trillion, and it's way outshadowing any companies of today. And what did happen to that? Well, stock price went to zero. So if you took a stock price relative of the East India Company to gold, obviously gold far outpaces the stocks of the East India Company. So that's an issue there that you might want to consider. Longer term, gold wins. In the meantime, maybe in a period of 50 years, that may not be true. It may just boil down to whether you believe there's a great reset coming, whether you believe there's a generational change about to occur in the economy and geopolitics and events around the world. But it's a quite frightening event if that's true. Yes, then this could be a very interesting relation that you need to consider. Check out the AI. It gives you some more information on that rates versus gold paradigm. And give us your take on our online poll. Which may be a better investment, gold or stocks? Check out the post link to do that in the description box below. And don't forget to subscribe.